Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Facebook posts and the blog post expectations and some test taking tips. Had some questions about the exact nature of expectations on frequency of Facebook and blog posts. So let's talk about that a little bit. Okay, so with the Facebook and blog, the expectation is that we are going to replace what would normally be an in-class discussion about this course content online. And so the assignments are designed to do that. And the assignments, the post once, respond 3 times, post once on the blog, respond to 2 other blogs, lay out a minimum. What I'm really looking forward to and looking and expecting is for you all to be consistently engaged on the Facebook page and on the blog page throughout the course of the class. And so I'm going to post prompts as I kind of see them emerging and put them out there, and my expectation is that you will engage those prompts and engage your classmates in those prompts. So what I would say is, as long as you are posting daily on the blog and or on the Facebook page, then you are going to be in good shape. One thing that's important to note is that you want to make sure that you reference the text, reference what we're talking about, what concept it is that you're talking about, instead of just kind of I think this is how things are going. Certainly, what I want you to do is offer your opinion, but I want your opinion to be based on, or to be an extension of, or an application of the concepts that we're reading about, because these assignments are really designed to take the reading that you do on your own and put them into practical, real-world application and conversation where you're agreeing, you're disagreeing, you're extending, you're asking questions of yourselves and of your classmates. And so that's really the design here. But I'm not asking you to write a research paper, so you don't have to go out and do a bunch of research on academic journals. But what's in the text should be specifically referenced in your posts and your comments and your responses. So just keep that in mind. And also just make sure that you attach your name to your posts, your responses. On Facebook, it's not an issue because your name is there, but on the blog for sure, so that I know who's actively engaged and who's posting. So just keep that in mind as we go forward. It's really not about how many times you do it. The expectation is that you are consistently engaged and putting in high quality, thoughtful kind of comments and responses and posts that extend the conversation and apply the content. Okay, test taking tips. Online testing is a little bit different than in-class testing. A lot of times students think that because they'll have their notes or their book there, that the test will be easy. They don't need to prepare and do their diligence. I can tell you that is a good way to get a really bad grade on the test. So make sure that you are doing your diligence, you're doing your reading, you're thinking about and filling out those reading guides for each of the readings. Otherwise, you're going to get on the test and realize that you're not really prepared. The test is not definitional, so your notes might help you clarify some things, but you're still going to have to apply and analyze the content. Just definitional learning is really just of no use to us. Learning definitions is something that we do when we're in 2nd and 3rd grade, or maybe as freshmen, but really what we want to do is think critically, analyze, and apply. And that's what the test is designed to do. You're going to see examples, and that's how most of the questions are going to be formatted. They're going to ask you to actually think about the content. So having said that, don't just try and remember things when you're taking the test. Actually think about it. Oftentimes students will get on the exam and they'll say, oh, I can't remember the definition of that, or I can't find that anywhere in my notes. That's okay. You're smart people. Release the power of your brain and think through the question. Use your common sense. Try and eliminate some things and mark down what you know, and then answer the question to the best of your ability based on that. Just because your memory fails you, or because you can't really find a definition, doesn't mean you can't answer the question correctly. So keep that in mind and kind of trust your brain to think. The last piece of advice that I have for you is to not project or read onto the question. A lot of times students will see the question there and they'll say, well, you could have meant, but what happens if during this situation this thing happens? And I appreciate the fact that you're going above and beyond to think through the question and to spend some time really analyzing it. but really in a test question what we're doing is working with what's there. So that question is designed to assess your knowledge or your competence on a specific concept, set of concepts, or application exercise. So we put what we want you to have in the question. So don't add to that question hypothetically or project onto that question. Work with what's there. And relax. Smile, be alert, be awake, be in a quiet place, and just realize that it's an exam. It is not the end of the world. So if you're working through the test and you struggle on the first one or the second one, feel free to ask me as many questions as you want. I'm happy to talk through it with you, and we'll get you going. I want you to do well on the test. All right? Have a good day.